Good morning everyone, and welcome to the flight test of the i5 drone. This is made by YiZHAN, the ones that made the Tarantula model. So I really have high expectations of it, and I want to see how it performs outdoor directly. This can also be used indoor as it's not very large, but I want to test its real performance because it has let's say propellers big enough to cope with the outside environment. I'm going to power it on, and now I'm going to search for its Wi-Fi, and it's now connected, and I'm going to find it in the app. Okay, FPV connection. I'm gonna press play, and I have video image nice and sharp. I'm going to start video recording, and it's now recording. I'm going to enable controls, and let's see if we can take off. So automatic takeoff worked perfectly. I'm gonna put some more altitude, but not much. And look at that. This is only the air draft that it's slowly moving it away. It's a bit noisy, but as you can see, it's extremely stable. And it's also easy to control with the app, which actually I wouldn't expect it to be this easy to control. Usually I don't like this type of quadcopters because using a mobile phone for control is not very convenient. You don't have the same let's call it not dexterity, but don't have the same level of fine control. Well, this thing simply flies amazing. Would have thought that this thing is possible, and I really like the altitude hold also. It has very fine control. It's also on low rates now, but it's fine with low rates, as you can control it very smoothly, very smoothly. I can see from the FPV screen here on the app that the quadcopter is really smooth. There's no crazy shakiness like there is on this type of quadcopters. We have a slight current of wind from that direction, so I'm going against it, which is fine. And now I'm going to return it. You can see definitely a lot more faster. I really like it. It's kind of addicting. Just look at that. Altitude hold works absolutely fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. This is not a GPS quadcopter, folks. This is a simple so-called toy drone, but you can see that YiZHAN is still making very nice quadcopters. So this is a few classes above the competition currently when it comes to Wi-Fi control drones. I must say that I'm also in I'm flying now in an area which is full of Wi-Fi interferences. There are something like 20 Wi-Fi networks around here, so it's amazing that this thing flies without interference, and I haven't lost it yet, which is yet again another big plus when it comes to this model. So let's bring it a bit more closer. My only issue so far with it, when it's more than 10 meters away, is that you cannot see the small LEDs, and if you don't look at the screen you are going to kind of lose orientation. You won't know in which direction the quadcopter is flying, only if you fly it. So you can kind of crash it in a tree or something like that, because you will not know its heading. But if you take it gently to get accustomed with it, oh, that was nice. And it seems that it has protection for the motors, because it has almost instantly turned them off to prevent them from burning. So yet another plus. I'm also going to try something else, because I'm flying gently. I want to see if I can orient the camera to face downward, and look at that, this is really nice. You can actually orient the camera and you can have aggressive tilt, so it's looking upward. Or if you are in kind of a selfie taking guy, and you want to fly slow and film the ground, you can orient it downward. So this is a major plus, because most of these Chinese quadcopters have a awkward facing downward camera, and when you fly the tilt angle will make it even worse. So you are going to film the ground and nothing else. You want to give it a bit of upward tilt, but if you fly it very slow, it's okay with downward pointing. So let's take it into the air again. So the app is back on. I'm going to start video recording again. I'm going to enable controls, and I'm going to change the raise to 60% now. So let's see how this goes now. Yes, definitely more snappy. Look at that speed. Now it's against the wind, but doing a lot more better. And that's a crash test, of course unintentional. You may say that I have something against this quadcopter. In this morning, crashed it in that bush, hit that light pole. Well, here is the thing that it's a thing that happens to any of us, and it's not related to the app or the quadcopter itself. It's the fact that I'm not very used of using mobile phone surfaces as a way to control quadcopters, and you can see this thing is really kind of acrobatic, and it's flashing rapidly, which means that the battery is almost over. So I'm going to still fly it a bit some more to see how it copes with that, what happens when the battery gets too low. Once again, look at its stability, and just keeping it I'm just giving it a bit of side plus rear command to counter the slight air current, the wind, and It's flying absolutely beautiful. It's keeping the position very well, and the battery is over and it has auto landed. So when the battery gets empty, it will auto land. It's also nice because this has this stop button, so as soon as it touches the ground you can disarm the motors to protect them further from any kind of huge strains, or protect the propellers from hitting the ground. So that is also a very useful function. So I'm going to stop the video recording now. It's very important to do that before you power off the quadcopter. I'm going to close the app, and with this convenient button I can switch it off just like that. If you store this for a longer period of time, it's a very good idea to disconnect the battery from it, because otherwise you can accidentally over discharge it and ruins the LiPo battery. So if you want to prolong its life and you are not going to use this quadcopter very soon, then just disconnect the battery for better safety. So there it goes. This was the flight test of the i5 drone from YiZHAN. Definitely a very nice beginner quadcopter, and let's call it selfie class quadcopter or mobile phone control quadcopter. It's also foldable. It takes less space, so you can take this with you in a bag very easily, and with the convenience of the mobile phone you always have the controller with you. It uses a small LiPo, as you've seen in my first part of the review, easy to charge with a power bank, and it has a pretty decent flight time, because the first part of the flying was around 6 minutes, and I have added maybe another minute there, so maybe 7, maybe 8 minutes in total you can get out of this. It's also rather cold outside today, so the LiPo performance have been slightly decreased by that, but as you can see it's still a very nice small drone to have fun with it. So be sure to follow my channel for other nice uploads, and we'll see you soon. Until then, bye bye.